Welcome to the Low Intro section. We have the beginning of every one of these Hatecast guys. Chemical X is currently buy one, get one. And we have the bonus of a $9 mystery t-shirt. That's right. You can get your t-shirt for only $9. It's mystery. It's a little surprise here. We thought this would be something fun for you guys. And we have a 30% off code to go with that as well. So, with that being said, guys, in this episode, it is a Q&A with Ed and I again. It is the last Q&A you guys will get for a while. I think the next episode I'll have on Ryan Skelly so that we can discuss bodybuilding, batch cooking, nutrition, all that crap. As well as I'd like to get his opinions on some Olympia predictions. So, guys, enjoy the show. Welcome to the newest episode of the Chaos and Pain Hatecast. Now, I've changed the title a little bit. It's just Hatecast now instead of C&P Hatecast for those of you searching for the newest Hatecast episodes. So today I'm joined by Ed again. Say hi, Ed.
Hello. Hi, Ed.
Oh, there we go. So first things first, I would like to go over something that's kind of popular in the news. So this freaking stupid Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly rant or beef.
Yeah.
So it's completely fake beef. It's like a soy burger.
Nice catch, by the way, Bryce.
Yeah, like, okay, I don't know whether to be proud of this or ashamed of this, but I looked up all his tour dates, Machine Gun Kelly. I looked up, the timeline of the events, him releasing the diss track after Eminem released the album. And there's nowhere that he could have been at any point that would have been cold enough to see his breath. So, if you look in the music video that was shot, obviously in a colder month, this is a fake beef. It's good for hip-hop, right? Because everybody likes these beefs. Everybody likes people going after everybody, and everybody's like, oh damn, like it's a roast battle. But no, it's fake beef. Like Eminem's daughter's dating this guy. You think, no, it's fake. I wish there was a Snopes article on this. So,
hey, well, dude, Bryce,
yeah,
you do know, like back in the day, like Tupac and Biggie and everything, like that was fake beef as well. You know, like
I know, but you also, it was more believable. I mean, like, there weren't many people. Okay, you run into this fucking problem right now where everybody fact-checking everything, right? So, like, even the stuff we say on the Hatecast, people are going to Google, right? So that means we got to get our shit in order, right? So you can't fake a beef and sit there and, like, go really, really hard on Eminem on something you've worked on for probably 4 months. It's like, really? You're really going to fake like you did that? Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like, dude, he's not talented enough to come up with it that quickly.
Well, I'm not saying he's not. And I'm not saying that he's a shit rapper either. But at the end of the day, like, this was premeditated. There's no way you can hide that in this day and age. Like, people like myself, people who are a little bit eccentric, will look this stuff up, okay? And they will call you on your shit. I'm calling you out, Machine Gun. Who cares? He doesn't care.
He's rich. He's very rich.
I'm very low on the totem pole on people that are calling him out. But it's bullshit. So people can stop freaking out about it. Oh my God, would you stop whining, dog? Anyway, dog's throwing a fit in the background. Sorry, people.
It happens.
So let's get into. Do you have anything you'd like to go over real quick?
Well, actually, I kind of do have a little beef with these so-called review people that are on websites, not the ones that do the YouTube videos, because you can actually see if they work out or not, right? And they know what they're talking about. But
yeah,
I'm talking about the ones that, write the reviews. Let's just say that it was recently brought to my attention that one of our products, Predator, was on a review site, and it was said that it was underdosed compared to what was clinically proven to work. Well, I fact-checked it, like you mentioned so much before that you love to do. And when I fact-checked it, I realized that the studies were done on the dry herb. So let me explain something out there if you're not familiar with what this means. This means you basically take the plant, the root, whatever part it is, the flower. Think of a piece of lettuce. You chop it up, right? Then you dry it out, and then you weigh it out, which they were using 3 grams worth. Now, first off, let me explain something else about pill sizes, okay? The standard largest pill size most companies use to put into a bottle is what they refer to a 00 or 00, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They can only fit roughly between 700 and 750 milligrams of a dry substance, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So, because the supplement world doesn't want everybody to be taking 30 pills like they did back in the 70s.
Now, mind you,
those liver tabs.
Yeah. Now, mind you, these if you look at the supplement companies of yesteryear, some of the serving sizes were actually somewhere around 6 to 10 pills. It was crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that was back in the day when all the protein powder tasted like chalk or sand or a mixture of both. And the pre-workouts taste like...
egg protein.
Oh, there you go. And all the pre-workouts pretty much tasted like literally Kool-Aid with battery acid in it. So, but go on.
So anyways, this person obviously doesn't know anything about manufacturing and doesn't know anything about studies, I guess, or whatever. Decided to say that Predator was underdosed. Well, here's the thing, Mr. Sir. We use things called extracts.
Right.
So extracts make it exponentially more powerful than the raw material. And they do this so they can fit it into that 00 pill, which is only 700 to 750 milligrams. That's why they do it. So next time you start to go use your Google scientific degree and look up what amount of herb was used in a study to be successful, make sure you do your research and you know what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're just one of the other barracudas. And you know why I call them barracudas, Bryce? Do you know why I do that?
Why is that?
Because barracudas chase shiny things. So you flash something in front of them, like, oh, guess what? Maybe I can make a job out of contacting supplement companies to give me free products so that I can use them for free, and then I'll write reviews. Ooh, that sounds like an awesome thing I should do. So I'm going to follow the silver little, shiny little piece of awesomeness down to the bottom of the water because I'm a barracuda.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
and
it's...
You know, the worst part of it is extracts are such a wonderful thing that people often, like, it's like, taking for granted the things that are around you every day. So, these screens that you look at, somebody had to think of a way to make them. Somebody had to think of a way to get this down to a science. And extracts are kind of an innovation in the supplement industry because it allows you, again, like Ed said, not to have, like, for instance, like, curcumin extracts and stuff like that. You know how much you would have to take in, like, pure ginger root form of, like, to get the effects? Like, it's crazy. These extracts allow you to fit, or allows us to fit something so exponentially effective in a small pill that would otherwise take, 8 or 9. And by the way, guys, like, it also cuts down the amount of shelf space, because that's a real worry for supplement companies, especially because, with things like weight gainers take up a lot of space, in the warehouse. And it also cuts down on a bunch of other things. I mean, it is really a significant innovation that's happened, pretty quickly. It's something we're still not used to. And it's just, extracts are more effective as well. So, but I just, it drives me crazy when these people say that stuff like Predator's underdosed, because I have blood glucose levels that I've actually measured. So, to see how effective it is. I mean, you can buy it. Huh?
You look like you work out also, just saying.
Oh, man.
I don't know what this fool looks like. I mean, I really don't. He's just one of those troll people, man.
Anyone who denies Predator and the way that it works, right? You can go to Walmart and get a blood glucose monitor, right? And take fasting blood glucose, and then you can take Predator and see if it goes down. Like, seriously. Like, Predator was actually formulated to kind of mimic metformin, right? In the way that it helps nutrient partitioning and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, guys, it is a fantastic product, and don't let one review that really doesn't understand things sway you in any way. For that one review, we have hundreds of others that are just stellar, right? I mean, people love Predator. It's one of our top-selling products. I mean, over on the home forum where I'm at, Anabolic Minds, by the way, you should check that out if you haven't already. You can find me over there under the name Pyrobat. But over there, I mean, people are singing praises of Predator like nothing. I mean, it's crazy. People absolutely love it. And for one guy to sit there and call it not effective is just ludicrous when there's hundreds of others. It's crazy. But I guess it's look at me.
Dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what makes me so upset.
But it's this look at me generation too. Like, it's the hey, I know something you don't. Hey, I don't know, man. It's the Reddit crowd. I just don't get it,
Me either.
But now that we've gone over that, and guys, this is our promise. We have properly dosed products. We kind of made our mark on things that work, right? Properly dosed, things that are effective, transparent labels, no proprietary blend BS. All that stuff is where Chaos and Pain is at, and that's where we'll stay. We will always bring you top-notch products. But now that I've gone over a little quick shill there, let's get into the questions. So, you just wrote an article on blood flow restriction training, right?
Yes, I sure did.
Now, in that article, I read it, and this question kind of popped up because we actually have somebody that read the article over on Anabolic Minds, and they had asked how many days a week, because I don't think you covered this, how many days a week should you blood flow restriction training? Like, is there a limit?
Well, I'm definitely glad that was brought up. That's going to be, and I hate to do the whole cop-out, but it's definitely going to be dependent upon the person and upon your training levels. That's why I didn't really want to include it in there. I probably should have said, and I'll go back and update that. I think that to start off with 1 or 2 sessions a week to get used to it. Another thing you can do is use it for lagging body parts, specifically, or if you're injured, like say you can't do your 600-pound squats because your lower back is killing you. By using this, you can use a lot less weight, even use leg press. The thing that really got me interested in it and the validity of it was Dwight Howard when he was using it a couple years back to come back from a major knee surgery. This is like the microfracture surgeries that usually you don't come back from.
Man.
Yeah, I know. But because you're not able to strengthen the quad and the hamstring and all the ligaments and tendons enough because you can't use enough weight on the actual bone, which is weak. Well, they were able to do this with blood flow restriction, basically, and it worked great. I mean, there's a video of him doing leg extensions with no way. Of course, they use a futuristic machine with output input variables that no one except rich NBA basketball players and football players have access
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But one of the pressurized machines, and definitely, he was working his tail off using hardly any weight at all.
Yeah, and that's another thing it's incredibly useful for is you have an injury, or I'm not going to say hurt, but you have an injury, like you have like you went through neck surgery, right?
Yep.
So you could probably use some blood flow restriction training, like in the recovery process, due to the fact that probably putting a lot of pressure on an injured area is probably not a good idea, right?
Nope.
Like a lot of shear force. So blood flow restriction training can definitely help in that. It's also shown to aid in recovery, from what I've seen. And if you're one of those guys, like if you're an NFL lineman or you're a pro wrestler or something like that, something interesting about pro wrestlers is their season, their quote unquote season, is like 270 days out of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, with that information at hand, something you can do in order to continue to train while you have such a lengthy season, or if you're like one of these guys that have, hashtag no day off or whatever bullshit guys want to follow, or one of these guys that haven't taken a full week off of training for the last, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right?
Yep.
You can use blood flow restriction training in order to still push yourself, still do a little bit of metabolite work, still get some great hypertrophy as well as strength gains from blood flow restriction training without necessarily putting your body through excess stress, accumulating a lot of fatigue. Because, something I was curious about with blood flow restriction training is the fact that I wonder, this is just something in my mind, I don't know if it's ever been tested or whatever, but do you accumulate less fatigue while doing it versus the traditional?
So you're asking, do your muscles get fatigued faster? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm talking about the accumulation of fatigue. So you have you go up and up and ramp up and ramp up and ramp up, kind of peak week stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So, central nervous system, kind of not burn out, because I'm not a real big fan of that, but accumulation of fatigue is the best way to put it that I know.
Okay, well, I think I know what you're saying, and the answer is definitely yes, because the way the body adapts to stress is that it tries to overcome it because it wants to be in homeostasis. So if you're putting your body in an excess of fatigue by basically you're fatiguing the slow twitch muscle fibers. Yeah. So what you're doing, which is cool also because you get to work the fast twitch muscle fibers without having to use a lot of explosive movements or really heavy weight, but your body is going to adapt metabolically on a cellular level to accommodate the extra waste materials because it wants to get rid of them. So yes, you will fatigue less by doing blood flow training, restriction training, in the right way over time.
So also another question I had about it is, in my opinion, it's not something you should do 7 days a week. Right?
No.
So where would you suggest? So 1 to 2 days a week, one training session, I think is a good standard for where people should start. Now, see, I would be interested if you guys really want to implement it the way I would do it, is I would do 1 day a week, and then the next week throw it in there 2 days a week, and then go back to 1 day a week. Kind of always throw that little wrench in there, right? And I would use it on isolation exercises a lot too.
And I agree with you. The one thing I think, personally myself, the way that it would probably work well would be to use it kind of how Phil Heath uses his FST7 training.
Yeah.
Use it at the end of your workout. Do your compound movements first. Granted, we're talking about a healthy individual who's not going to be using this for squats or whatever.
Right.
And use it at the end of the workout, and instead of doing your pump sets, because I've tried those, and honestly, I didn't find them to be that effective. Of course, I'm not taking the amount of stuff that Phil Heath is taking, so maybe
Oh,
that's why. but,
I don't think lab rats are. But go ahead.
no, I don't think so either. So I definitely didn't get the same results, and also everybody's lactic acid buildup and removal system is different. So
Right.
by doing it at the end and getting a crazy pump, I think that's the best. And I don't know if you ever had this, but when I was young and dumb, I used to love the pump so much that I would actually work out so much that my pumps would diminish at the end of my workout.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
So I feel like this is a way
I don't do that anymore either.
No,
So,
me either. That was just no. It's like, man, if my pump is this awesome, I'm going to keep working out so it gets awesomer, and the complete opposite happens. Then you're kind of just chasing the pump, chasing that white dragon. Anyways, I would definitely use it towards the end of your regular routine to kind of enhance the healing process and to get bigger. Or if you are using it from recovering from an injury and you can't go heavy, do it that way. And I definitely think that it's safer to use on isolation movements as opposed to compound, because God forbid you have 225 on your back and all of a sudden you just decide that your legs are going to crap out on you. That's probably not a good thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. And, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned the FST7. I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Yes.
Training methodology, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But it is related to another question we have. But
ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I would think that somebody who's chasing the pump would love something like blood flow restriction training.
Definitely.
So, and I have to agree with you there. When I was younger and I was more novice in my training, I did chase the pump all the time. And that actually leads us into two more questions. But, when it comes down to it, you can only be productive in the gym for so long before you either hit a wall or you start kind of regressing, right?
Yep.
And by that I mean, no, you're not going to regress in a single training session, but you keep doing that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Your strength starts sliding backwards. Probably should not go into the gym for 7 hours. So, rest in peace, Rich Piana. So, but calm down.
Oh my
God.
God.
I know, 8-hour arm workout. But hey, dude was a spectacular personality. I loved it.
Well, personality, yes, but the rumor is that he went and got those little beads put into his muscle bellies. Just like
let's not go into rumors. We don't know that for sure.
No, we don't.
So,
but apparently he did like to snort his pre-workout or something. What his girlfriend tried to say.
That was okay. We can comment on that. That was so cringy. Oh my God! It's like, knowing that the dude had no problem. Anyway, we'll leave it alone. I'm not gonna go into that rabbit hole. I loved what he did for bodybuilding. So
yes, he actually was a famous bodybuilder that did not compete.
And he brought a lot of people on board. That's something that we're kind of missing out on right now is for a little bit, bodybuilding kind of died down in popularity, and powerlifting and strongman and all that stuff kind of got taken over, and physique was kind of always just sitting there like, I'm gonna just pose my boy shorts or board shorts. But it when it comes down to it, like Rich, he brought some popularity back to bodybuilding, and I really do appreciate anyone who does that, right?
Dude, and he was a big dude too, and you know what?
Yeah.
Comment on that. Why bodybuilding is down? I think you have to look no further than who our current Mr. Olympia is. Granted, he does have an amazing physique, but he is arrogant and his personality is crappy.
I'll say this about Phil Heath, and this has kind of gone off on a tangent, and we'll kind of wrap it up for you guys. But I think you guys like this. But I will say this about Phil Heath. Dude is arrogant, yes. Dude kind of is. You look at him in interviews, and he's kind of reserved, right? I know he's a Tupac fan, so that's good.
That is good.
But when it comes down to it, it's like I think we needed somebody with a little bit more personality. Like, that's why I would have loved, even though Kai Green, it's like, you ask Kai Green, how did you get that scar on your face? And then he'll go into, well, guys, like, it's not about the scar, it's about the vision that I had when I started bodybuilding, and thoughts become things, and like, we just asked you a simple question. Just answer the damn question. I was there on that live stream when he tried to answer where he got the scar. So long story short, he got it when he was a bouncer. Like, that would have made a better story than, well, guys, the things you got to remember is, it's like, no, one thing. The one thing we asked, 45 minutes to answer. Thank you. Thank you. I think he would have been a better ambassador for the sport, just because people love to hear him talk, and buddy does he. It's kind of like me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ronnie Coleman was amazing,
Yeah, buddy.
Lightweight!
And even Jay Cutler, I know, okay, like, I like Jay Cutler just because when you talk to him now, he's very humbled about the experience that he had when he was bodybuilding, right? And you don't see a lot of guys who, I mean, Ronnie does that too. You know how Ronnie's very like, yeah, it was one of the greatest things, and I love bodybuilding and all this stuff. But then you go look at people like Dorian Yates, and they're like, fuck bodybuilding, and just, like, it's not even the same anymore, blah, blah, blah. They just have to shit all over it. I think Phil Heath this year will be in the best condition we've ever seen him. The only reason I truly do believe that, and mark my words, guys, his midsection will look a lot different because I believe he had some work done. I think they're going to allow him to get away with 10 because that's his goal and that's what he's been kind of pumping up to. And
wow, really? 10,
yeah, I think he'll go for 10, right?
Wow.
So he's going to be 8, then 9, then 10, then I'm retiring. All of a sudden, it's like, no, you're just done with it.
Don't get me wrong. I think he is probably physically the best, Mr. Olympia of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking that away from the guy, and I'm not taking away the hard work. It's just like you said, he just doesn't have that personality to draw people. I mean, people are turned off from him. They want him to lose.
Well, it's also like he has that Division I basketball player mentality still. Like I'm gonna fucking flex on these guys. He has that still, and it comes off as arrogance, but it really is just, that whole basketball mentality. But,
yeah,
I mean, I haven't heard him talk too much shit about anyone other than a YouTuber, right?
Well, that's true. That's true.
He had that issue with Louis Marco, right? And he got really upset, right? But Louis Marco kind of sits there and he just kind of takes a stick and he just pokes the bear. Just gives him a little nudge. Just like, hey, Phil Heath, you look like you had a pregnant gut. It's like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, hell no. Mister doesn't even compete. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to stomp around like a child. It's like, that's what he does. That's what he does.
He
did
does,
that to
man.
Cedric, too.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway. Like he that's it. He acts very childish. He, gets all, defensive, and then he might be a smart guy, I don't know, but he doesn't have a witty comeback. It's one of those comebacks where it's like, well, no, you are. I mean, look at you, and you're like, dude, say something funny.
I think he cares too much about his legacy.
Wow, dude, lighten up. It's bodybuilding. Oh my god.
It is, but look at Arnold's footprint.
Well,
know
dude,
yeah,
but none of these guys are going to be in movies like Arnold. They're not. They're not as tall as him, number one.
It's not even the movies, man. It's not even the movies because back when he was in Pumping Iron Man, he was a bricklayer. beforehand.
Yep.
Like he was literally the success story, right? Had nothing, came over as an immigrant, and laid bricks, and then did a bunch of other stuff that led him to where he is now, and people they just love it. They just love it, right?
Yeah.
And Phil Heath, came from a Division I scholarship,
Yep.
right? And it's sometimes he acts like an entitled little brat, but he does that because he's freaking on top right now, and I get that. Like, and he cares about his legacy too. That's one thing. Like when Louis Marco poked him, he kind of came after his legacy, and I don't think Phil Heath took too kindly to that. But Louis Marco did the same thing as Cedric. So, and I think Samoan Panda too.
I think so, probably.
Yeah. Simeon Panda, Samoan Panda. I don't remember what his name is. Panda guy. Rip dude. But anyway, I think we've stayed on that too long. But I think that he'll get away with 10, and then. But yeah, I will agree that him being Mr. Olympia for so long has kind of been a detriment to bodybuilding. And then women's bodybuilding went away, which I'm very disappointed on.
Wow.
So they removed it. Now they got women's physique, women's. Dang it, I get so confused. So that's another thing too, is they switched it all around. So
you have bikini, and you have figure, and then you have fitness. So figure, I believe, again, I could be wrong, but I think figure is what replaced the bodybuilding, and then fitness, they're not quite as big, and then you have the bikini that's just skinny ripped.
Yeah. No, it's women's physique.
Physique. So they changed it again. I'm confused.
No, it's women's fitness. See, if they wanted this to be something that really is spectacular, right? They would have just kept it women's bodybuilding, because it wasn't. Anyway, enough bitching. Man, I'm way too invested in the bodybuilding world. Damn it,
dude. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I am too, just because I grew up and I did the bodybuilding thing for a while, but then you meet a real top 10 pro. Actually, you meet a top 30 pro, and then number one, they're shorter than you by a lot, and number two, my muscles just aren't like theirs. Like, my insertions just are not like that.
It's just incredibly unfair how they look. It's just incredibly unfair.
It's genetics. Like their shoulders. Like, I'm carrying around 50 pounds more than this guy, and I'm lean, 7%, right? And this dude is under 200 pounds, and he looks like he outweighs me by 50 pounds. Like, how is that even possible?
Well, another thing is these guys are, if they gain 1 pound of muscle because of how short they are, it looks better than somebody my height,
Yeah.
Also, and I'm not making excuses, guys, mind you. Like, I'm bulking right now. I'm up to 282 pounds now. So, I'm getting there, right? But it's just
Slowly.
It's a lot longer journey for me. Yep. Now, that probably means that I'll be competing later than I expected. But anyway, the 212 division is something I'm looking forward to this year too. I got a buddy of mine, Samir, that's going to be competing in there. So he got his pro card. He's going to be competing in IFBB Pro. So
nice. By the way, we've been off topic for a while now. What's the next question?
So, okay, the thing that led us into, I know Jamie and Bryce both have I'll ask you this too. I know Jamie and Bryce both have a grab bag style of training. And that means that Jamie doesn't have any outline. He goes in there and does whatever he feels like. I have a general outline, and then I decide what my rep scheme is going to be on that day. I decide what different variations I want on that day, so forth and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? And do you have anything that you steal from other training methods?
Oh.
So, how that came about is just experimentation. It's nothing more than that. Like, I've tried to stick to a 5-3-1. I've tried to stick to a 5 five by five. I've done all the training methods in the book. This is the one that works for my body. You're going to have to find the one that works for your body. Now, did you have anything that you steal from other training methods? It's interesting that you bring up the FST7 training methodology, because I actually like doing the exercise and then at the end of that flexing, like really, really hard, just getting that nasty contraction, right?
Yep.
So that's something that I've actually stolen from the FST7 training methodology. I didn't steal everything, though. So I don't do the whole 7 sets of this and then, the other stuff that he has Phil Heath do. I stole, the undulating periodization, kind of. And by that, I don't mean that I follow a block periodization. I follow it's weird. It's a grab bag style, like I said before. So I do, my heavy work on one day, my heavy day on my heavy upper and lower day on the latter part of the week, and then the first part of the week is just my volume work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I've done. That's kind of my training methodology. So what about you? Do you follow any specific, like very specific training methodologies?
Well, as far as specific, I definitely do grab back. But before I begin, quick question. Would Henny Rambod be famous if he just didn't happen to get lucky enough to have Phil Heath as one of his clients?
I think so, because at that level, those guys aren't coaches, they're drug coaches.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I completely forgot about that part of it, because it doesn't really matter about the FST7. It's more about when to take your gear.
Yeah, that's a gimmick. So FST7 probably has a vague outline of something else, right? It probably has a methodology behind it. Like, I'm going to do 7 sets of this or 7 sets of that or what have you. I'm going to do the specific body part to make it grow. But other than that, it's all drug information, all of it.
Makes sense.
Nutrition information, again, those guys have been doing this for so long. They either know their body or they're like, okay, coach, this is what I'm going to eat. And I know for a fact that Phil Heath in particular knows a little bit about his body. But if you look at any other interviews that he's done, it is literally, all right, so Hani says that I can't have this, so I'm not going to have this. So me, rah, big dumb bodybuilder. Not really, though. He's just one of those guys that wants everything out of his hands. Like, make me look like that, coach. Okay, I'll take this. I'll do this, So that's what it is. Like, Hani Rambod must have some good drug information, or at least comparable drug information. And then it kind of trickles down from there. So I know his rates aren't reasonable.
Oh, man. Makes sense. Okay, so back to the question. I'm glad you asked. I like to keep kind of some kind of, I just want to call it a pattern maybe,
right,
or a schedule where, I always like to train back at the beginning of the work or the week, just because I feel like you can never have a strong enough back or posterior chain, and I always like to do legs at least 2 days after a back, because I like to do deadlifts. And when you're doing a deadlift the right way, you're essentially doing a squat.
Right.
So,
kind of leg pressing it off the ground, like pushing the ground away from you. Yeah.
Exactly. So I try to keep those. Those are kind of like my 2 staples. So if I'm doing back first, then Thursday's more than likely going to be legs, and then I kind of fill in between. And usually I like to do the compound movements. So it'll be, chest, and then Friday I'm usually so taxed that that's for my smaller muscle groups, arms, shoulders, stuff like that.
Yeah.
As far as the techniques, though, I've definitely taken stuff from a lot of people, and some of the most useful stuff that I found was from Iron Man magazine. Believe it or
Oh,
not.
that's old school. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. Steve Hoffman, they have some great training philosophies for people that are natural. And the way it kind of works is that if you train like you're natural, then no matter what you're taking, it's more than likely going to work, you know?
Yeah.
So, as far as that, one of the things I used to love, and it's great that this FST7 came up because it's basically just occlusion training, which is
Yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
trapping, blood flow. And they have the same thing. They call it X reps, but it's a little different. I
Yeah.
know, right? So the X reps is basically where you find the strongest point of the lift. For a chest press, it's about 8 to 10 inches off the chest. It's pretty easy to find. Bicep curl, it's, you know, probably I would say somewhere between, if 90 is all the way down, you're probably like at 75. And it's just a very small little kind of pulsing movement that you add to the end of your working set.
Yeah.
So I'll do those because you can use the same heavy weight. It's a limited movement. And then I also love to do their extended negatives, where they'll do like a 1 second up, and then they'll do like a 7 second negative, and then they'll usually have some kind of like 1 to 2 second contraction hold.
Yeah.
You do 7 of those, and you do the math. You're getting close to sets that are lasting around a minute or so. And when you do that, it gives you similar results as blood flow restriction training without the bands. So, yes, and I always love and always have loved. And again, I'm more on an athletic bodybuilder, if there is such thing as that. But
Athletic
I
aesthetic.
there you go, athletic aesthetic. And I prefer to do supersets, drop sets, triple drop sets, giant sets, whatever you want to call them. I like all of that stuff. So that's kind of what works best for me. And I don't rest very long in between. I just keep going. So.
Now, do you think people put too much? I mean, there's people who don't rest enough, right? There's people that literally they're done with their workout in 30 minutes and they've done 3 sets of squats. Now, your strength is going to come from somewhere. You've been doing this long enough where you know how much rest is comfortable to you, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
You know what you can. Do you think that people should, because I see this all the time in the gym, do you think people should time their rest periods?
I definitely think it's a good idea to do it, especially if you're trying to get bigger.
Right.
If you're trying to get stronger, that's a whole other ballgame. You've got to rest until your central nervous system can recover. But one of the big things about being big and ripped, and one of the best things that you can do, is put your body in oxygen debt.
Right.
And what that basically is when you're working out, you start that next set before you're fully recovered, right?
Right.
And by recover, we mean that you don't have your full breath back. And so essentially what you're doing is you're using oxygen that you necessarily don't have, like your body's metabolism of oxygen. And so afterwards, your body has to basically replace that when you're done training. And because you put yourself into this oxygen debt, then what happens is your body continues to burn off body fat for an extended period of time after your training. Some places do claim that this can go on for up to 10 hours. Right. So, and plus now we're learning that it's also kind of related to the metabolic stress put on the cells, which does cause hypertrophy growth. So there's a couple different things we're learning about more now.
Yeah, that's why you see athletes who, now mind you, training to look like a bodybuilder is going to be significantly different than training to look like an athlete. Okay? But you do see athletes with low levels of body fat almost on a consistent basis. You also see athletes specifically the running, jumping, explosive, plyometric type athletes, significantly more muscular than the average human being. Now, do they not do weights? No, of course not. Nowadays, every athlete pretty much universally does weights, even swimmers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they do the same thing. They don't have a very long rest period, right? It's almost long enough so that they're not wheezing for their next bout, right? So that could be the amount of time it takes them to unload the plates, So that style of training is very, very unique, and I would love to do a deep dive on that at some point. So let's put that on the docket, because that's something that I think most people who don't want to be a bodybuilder, powerlifter, or strongman competitor, or anything looking like any one of those, would absolutely both benefit from in a functional standpoint. They would also benefit from on an aesthetic standpoint. So it's pretty cool that you mentioned that. We need to cover that more in depth.
Let's do it.
But we'll go on to a next question here now. So, leg training question. Here's a posterior chain, man.
I love it.
I see people doing squats, lunges, leg extensions, and leg press all on the same day. Is this the optimal way to train legs? Too little variation, too much overtraining? Same thing for this guy says same thing for chest and arms as well. So that's kind of a big question. I'll let you go ahead and cover that before I do. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, when I used to absolutely just destroy my legs, I mean, just destroy them, like can't sit on the toilet the next day. Like you're basically hoping you fall down on it,
Right.
I would do it all in one day, because if I didn't, then I would be too sore to do it again. It would just be too much. And at the same token, when you're doing deadlifts, like I mentioned before, you're already taxing the hams, the posterior chain, and the quads.
Yeah.
So what I would look at is not necessarily the number of exercises, but the number of sets. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's say I'd warm up, do 2 to 3 sets, on squats, working my way up, pyramiding my way up. Then I would right away go do a hamstring, some kind of either hamstring curls,
Right.
or something that's just gives myself a little bit of time to rest. Then I would go back and I would do, say, lunges, but I wouldn't do 5, 6 sets. I would just do 1 or 2. It all is still under the same amount of time. And that's one thing that I really hope that people, or at least one person, could take away from this, is that it's more about the total time that you're working in the gym than it is about the number of sets, reps, and exercises and all that stuff. So if you can incorporate everything into a 45-minute time frame, then definitely by all means go ahead. But then you've got other workouts where you want to switch it up and you spend 45 minutes just squatting. Arnold used to go out in the snow with 135, and they would squat for like, I don't know, hours, just to switch it up barefoot. So I definitely think it's not necessarily the number of exercises, but it's the total amount of time that you are in the gym. And as far as training arms and chest, there's various thoughts on that, because you say that, hey, I'm working out my triceps when I'm pressing, well, I've always liked to do supersets when I do arms, bi exercise immediately followed by a tricep exercise. That just has always worked the best for me, and I feel like it gives good balance. So I would always do those separately on the lowest impact day of the week. Yeah. Just that Friday for that recovery, just kind of get in there and do it. I have seen people do it on chest days, but if you're doing chest the right way, you're hitting your shoulders and your chest, front delt and everything. So,
Yeah.
Again, it all is about the time that you're in the gym and what it takes to work those muscles and get growth.
I like that. Yeah. I'm of the same opinion. So, as Jamie and I have already went over, like more sets of one exercise equals probably better results than more exercises and less sets of a particular exercise. So you have this misconception that you need to hit the chest or the legs or the back from all these different angles all at once on the same day every time you train them all the time. So you have people go in there and they'll barbell bench, for example, right? They'll barbell blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Barbell bench.
BBB.
BBB. They'll do that. They'll decline. Then they'll do flies. Then they'll do incline. Then they'll do like the hex bar, or I'm sorry, the where you put the two dumbbells together. I forget what it's called. Then do that. So they're doing about 8 different variations for the same muscle group, right? They're doing 3 sets of each, and by the time they're done, sometimes people who do that are they make improvements doing that, but for a lot of people they'll start to regress. Now, mind you, there's some body parts that are great when it comes to variation. Like, for instance, you can do 4 or 5 different exercises per week for chest, and I don't see people losing or regressing in strength or size, right? Mm-hmm. But you hit you specifically target the front delts too much, you'll go backwards quick, right? So those people who do 12 to 18 sets per week of front delt work usually end up having shitty shoulders, right?
Yep.
Along with probably some rotator cuff stuff later in life, right?
Yep.
So it's highly individual. Now, when it comes to legs, I like the 5-set exercise scheme. Like, you do 5 sets or 6 sets of one exercise one day. And if you really need variation, like if you, for instance, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be back squatting 2 times a week. So what I've started doing is I'm doing back squats once a week, and then leg press or some variation, right? Other than back squats for my quads the other day in the week. So I train legs twice a week.
Dude, have you ever done hundreds, what they call them, on the leg press?
What is that?
Okay, you gotta try this, all right?
Okay.
So, you need to have a partner probably with you to make sure you don't kill yourself. You start off, and you put 145 on each side of the leg press. You do it 10 reps, all right? Then you get off. You put another 45 on each side, so 2 45s on each side, right? You do it 20 times. You immediately get off. You add another one. Do it 30 times. Then get off, do 40, 50, 60, all the way up to 10 for 100. Now, I've never met anybody that has gotten more than 6.
Jesus.
The pump, the first time, it's so amazing. I did it to my unexpected training partner one time.
Oh, that's always fine to get him to come back. Yeah.
Well,
That's how you scare away your training partners, by the way.
Well, he
do hundreds.
He got up. And he just fell down on the ground and started making the with his face. To this day, I still see it, and it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life in the gym.
Yeah. But I'll give him a try. But when it comes to like doing 5 or 6 different variations in the same day, I don't think so. It all depends on you. Like I would just for legs specifically, I would pick 2 or 3 different variations to do that day, and then just do the 2 or 3 other ones that you had in mind the next day or the following leg training, something like that. Arms can do it though. Arms you can punish pretty badly, and they'll be fine.
Hey Bryce,
Yeah.
you know the old. Have you ever heard of the old adage? Like I said, I love. If you've read any of my writing, you can tell that I love classic cliches, which is
Yeah.
great. Uh, but what I was always told by some older, more experienced bodybuilders is the way that you know that you are truly just fatigued and need a little extra rest is if your forearms are just so fatigued and they start to get weaker and you can't train because they and your calves recover so fast.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree with that. Especially if you're doing a lot of pulling work. Um, you know. But they was God damn it. Was that a yanking off reference?
Hey, I didn't say it. You did. I was
Okay.
gonna say we know how Bryce loves his pulling workouts.
Damn it. Oh my god. You know what? I'm not the only person in the world that just like imagines when you have those rope attachments in your hand. Just like no, there's that one time that you're sitting there and like, this is a big black cock. And I'm yanking on it right now. This is happening. And
Why
everybody's looking at me and it's fine.
why's it gotta be black, bro?
Because generally they're black. I'm not being, oh my god. Well, that's the kind of my gym anyway.
Or Arabian, maybe, right?
That's the kind of my gym. Wait, I don't know. Is that a thing? All right. Let let's get off the penises. It's fine.
Because I just got off yours. Whoa!
What are your body weights right now? Mine's 282. 282.
And how tall are you?
6'5". I'm cheating.
Okay.
So.
Well, just want people to know. You know what I mean? Me, I'm 5'11" on a good day, and I'm sitting at about. I've dropped a little bit. I'm about 205 right now, but I'm happy with that because I'm smoking people on my 200s and stuff. I mean, just absolutely crushing everybody. I love it.
Well, you're also over 200. Like, you're still significantly muscular for 5'11".
Well, yeah, I guess you could kind of compare me to maybe like an NFL running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna put on the board shorts anytime?
Um,
Come on, man. You gotta do a physique show. Come on, man.
I'm sorry, my legs are too big for that.
Oh shit! Shots fired. Shots fired.
I don't care, dude. I've got a huge ass, and I'm proud of it. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That kind of brings us into a question here. What do you guys think the most neglected muscles are?
Ooh, your back.
Yeah. I was gonna say glutes, but
Yeah, glutes, posterior, because you can't see your back. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, but I think everybody wants that cobra looking back. So I think people are training back more. I think that glutes are one of those things that, and this may be, I don't know of me, like, people are going to take this the wrong fucking way, but, like, as a straight male, you probably don't give a shit about how big your ass is, right? But the stronger you can get your glutes, the stronger you can get, or the bigger you can get your glutes, the stronger you're going to be in things like deadlift, squats, stabilizing yourself. It's one of those things where, like, I know it's kind of stupid. Like, you feel kind of weird doing hip thrust and all that other crap, but like, do something to work your glutes. Deadlifts work your glutes, man. So do squats, and So there's not really a need for hip thrust, but people just don't squeeze their glutes on
No.
these exercises, and they really need to start doing that. So,
No, I agree 100%. Hamstrings are probably the most neglected body part. Because everybody is so quad dominant. That's why we tend to have all of these knee issues. It's because the hamstrings are weak. And by the way, if anyone ever says, "Oh, my hamstrings are so tight," no, they're not. They're weak. Go train them.
also, if you're into strength sports specifically, you don't want loose hamstrings.
No.
You want tight hamstrings. You want to be able to load that thing up like a spring and then pop out of that hole. Like, that sounded dirty.
Dude, the whole thing sounded dirty. I'm just sitting here like, what is he going to say? You don't need loose as a goose hamstrings. You want to get that tight fit.
Hell yeah. But, man, I don't know, man. I have a way of explaining things in a way that sounds extremely bad if you think of it in the right context.
If you're male.
Oh, God. Or if your definition of humor hasn't evolved since you were in grade school, like mine hasn't.
Mine hasn't either.
Yeah. So I think we covered that. We'll hit a few more and then we can get off here because we're at 59 minutes now.
Dude, you did it again.
I know.
Gosh.
Are free machine workouts? I'm sorry. Are machine workouts good enough? I have rheumatoid arthritis, and free weights are painful most of the time. So
Yes.
So I will say that congratulations on probably being one of the only people with rheumatoid arthritis that's actually working out. Your joints will thank you, and you will probably save yourself a lot of pain later in life from just getting into the gym. So kudos to you. Machine workouts are absolutely enough. People, there is this macho thing about going in there and lifting free weights, and I get that, and I like it, and it's fun. But if it causes you physical pain, if it causes you joint pain, because you have rheumatoid arthritis, your joints are attacking themselves, I would say any exercise that you can do that's pain-free. I will say that if you think it's a form issue, if you're not doing the exercises correctly, I would suggest try looking into correcting those things. But machine workouts, absolutely, you can build a fantastic physique off of just machines. So, and you can strengthen muscles too, because that's important with rheumatoid arthritis. So, protecting the stuff around the joints is important. What do you think, Ed?
100%. I think we've covered this, I don't know how many times before, and it's just the truth. Lifting is better than not lifting, and you want to make sure that you don't have pain. That's the key. So whatever it takes for you to lift, not be in pain, do it. Also, Marcus Ruel, if you guys don't know who he was a bodybuilder. Man, I don't know how long it's been since he's retired, but he used to only do machine work. He never did free weights, and he was a beast.
Gigantic.
Yeah, one of the biggest of all time,
Strong, too.
Very strong.
So, yeah, I think we covered that. All right, 2 a day versus 3 day versus 4 and so on. So I'm guessing they mean how many days training per week.
Yes, I hope they don't mean 4 times in one day. But
oh god. You know what? Maybe when I was a novice I would have tried that out, but it just, oh my gosh, the gas, getting to the gym, the amount of laundry that you would go through. I mean, Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. 2 days a week is you can build a physique on 2 days a week. I will say that 3 days a week is probably the minimum I would suggest, but if your time only allows, we actually answered a question like this over in the Chaos and Pain Facebook group.
Yep.
where somebody had 2 days a week to train, and they said that that was the maximum that they had, and we kind of gave them, our opinions on that. 3 days a week is probably more optimal. Now, specifically if that person who asked that question is listening, 2 days a week, upper, lower, something like that, or full. You can actually get away with full body 2 days a week if you're doing 2 days a week. I would suggest adding something like a calisthenics workout from home if you have I'm sorry, but I'm one of those guys, like, if you have time to watch Netflix, you have time to work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just putting your health forward or putting your goals forward or whatever. I know there's a lot of emotion involved with you going to work and then being drained from all day being on your feet and stuff like that, but Jesus, stop being a baby sometimes. And that's me. I'm trying to be nice to this, guys. I'm not trying to say anyone's weak or anyone should be ashamed of themselves or whatever, but you're dragging your feet. Just do it. Nike, although their choices as of recently have caused some controversy, they do have a great slogan, just do it. And that is what you should just do. So 2 days a week, full body twice a week. 3 days a week would be better. You could do push-pull legs. Four is what I currently do, right? And I'm thinking about adding something from home on one of those days just for time management's sake. Something like you can easily train something like forearms from home with very minimal equipment. You can do push-ups, you can do dips, you can do pull-ups if you have the pull-up bar, stuff like that. You can do grip training from home very easily. So, and then 5 days a week.
Bryce does grip training from home all the time.
Yes. And by that, he means gripping my penis. God damn it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Bryce. That was not what I was talking about. Man. Wow.
Oh, no. All right. So, 5 days a week is getting a little, that's up to you. That's highly individual. Works for a lot of people. 6 days, you're obsessed with the gym. 7 days, don't. I would not suggest anyone work out 7 days a week. Just because, holidays roll around, life happens. You're going to miss that day of training, bro. Sooner or later.
Bruh.
So what are your opinions on that?
Well, I definitely think that, like you said, 3 minimum would be ideal. Do stuff at home if you can't make it to the gym more than that.
Grip training.
A lot of people, do grip training like Bryce 2-3 times a day, So he's still young. Anyways, I know that there's a couple big-time trainers that I really respect that have talked about neurotransmitter training, which is basically you tailor your training towards your specific dominant neurotransmitters, which are the chemicals basically in your brain that kind of tell you how to do stuff, like memory recall, be happy, not be sad, things like don't kill anybody, things like that.
I think I'm running low on that.
I think you are too. Most people that work out tend to be either low dopamine, which basically means that you need something kind of new. Like those are the people that are the adrenaline junkies, kind of like myself. And
Same.
I definitely think, well, of course, Bryce, we know that is because of your sexual habits. That's a big part
God damn
of it too. Yeah, because
it's not my fault.
It's not your fault. When you have low dopamine, you get the oxytocin and dopamine release every time magic happens in your pants. So anyways, that's a reason why Bryce is the way he is. But so with that, what happens, and it's kind of interesting, people don't realize, is your dopamine stores get drained extremely quickly. So if you're doing 2 days a week, more than likely you're going to be in the gym too long if you're dopamine low, you know, and that's not a good thing. You're better off keeping your workouts to 30 to 45 minutes,
Yeah.
So I would
Now,
say,
mind you, that's time under the bar too, because people
yeah,
say I'm out of the gym in 30 or 45 minutes. No, you're not. If you go to the locker room, you go to the bathroom,
yeah,
and have a drink,
exactly,
have,
exactly. Yeah,
talk to your friend that won't leave you alone.
I
Talk to your friend that you
know.
don't want to leave you alone.
Yes,
Do all these things.
yes,
Stare at the
I
cardio
agree.
bunnies.
Or get groped by the old women. I mean,
Hell, or you know what? Admire the big black dicks, the ropes.
yes,
You know
yes. Be like, wow, that's pretty nice.
that makes me feel small. But anyway, it's
Oh, wow. Isn't it funny how the basic needs of humanity always rear their ugly heads? Oh, classic cliche number two.
it's not my fault, man. Rope envy. It you know it. It's
Did you
just
get
one of those
rope
things
burn?
where
Did you get rope burn as a child?
you know what? I, that's a story for another time. Um, let's just put it this way. When in doubt, lotion. It,
Or soap?
yeah, no, see, that makes it feel like, no, anyway. Um, this is the ball. By the way, you know what my most recent obsession has been, right?
I don't,
Quicksand porn.
quick, what is quicksand?
Listen to me, okay? There's this entire genre out there of porn that is just devoted to people faking like quicksand is a big issue, right? And they go in there and they're like, "Oh no, I fell in some quicksand," and then all of a sudden
What?
they're like, it's up to their tits, and they're like, "Oh no, I can't escape." Like it's fucking cringy, but it's so good.
Are you
God
serious?
damn it.
I've never heard of quicksand porn.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And then there's ASMR videos too, like the really cringy ones. Have you seen the whisper porn videos?
No, I don't know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
There are these YouTubers that have these ASMR role playing, right? These ASMR role plays where it's like uh little sister uh is mean to her younger sister, right? And it's
Mhm.
like this girl just being completely mean to the camera, right? But she's
Mhm.
whispering everything. It's wonderfully cringy.
Huh.
We got off on a tangent. I know. Just all right.
I learned some
Back
stuff
on.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
Quicksand and
Quicksand
whispering.
porn and whisper
Quicksand
porn.
porn
Yeah,
and whisper porn.
yeah.
Huh.
And lunars is another thing too, like balloon porn.
What?
Just accept it, okay? They call
I'm,
themselves lunars.
my brain doesn't understand what's going on.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, so back to two days a week versus 3 days a week. So, what do you think about 5, 6, 7 days a week? Because I know that's going to come up because people want to train more, of course.
Oh, way
So,
too much. And the first thing that your body, well, the first thing that goes is your central nervous system. And when that goes, then your lifts just are terrible. I mean, honestly, I think 4 days a week is optimal, and I
yeah.
don't really recommend going more than that. You know,
Okay.
so
Yeah, I'd have to agree there.
yeah,
So our
if you're
next
doing it
question,
right.
we've got a couple rapid fire questions. So,
Okay.
thoughts on herbal teas, not from supplement companies, but from the grocery store on the tea in the tea section. I guess they mean like your sleepy time teas and your ginger teas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we all know how much that Bryce loves to be teabagged.
Really, really. I thought we were moving past it. Okay.
Dude, you said
Um,
you said quicksand porn. I mean, so
to be
anyways,
fair,
to be fair, yes, I
by the way,
think
guys,
he's.
there's this. If you guys are looking for a great Instagram account to follow, Putin's butthole is no. Listen, okay. There's this one video where it's like this super cringy like gay porn, right?
Uh-huh.
And this guy's just sitting there, and he's like, "Get off of me! Not until you stick your big dick up my ass. And it's like, come on. Like, this is... Okay, I like a lot of that stuff. It's cringy. It's cringy.
This is on Instagram?
Yeah, Putin's butthole. Yeah. It's also fun to say, Putin's butthole. Putin's butthole.
Oh, that is hilarious, actually.
This has just gone off. This has gone off the rails. Okay,
so, anyways,
herbal teas.
Yes. See, herbal teas. Yes, let's do this fast.
Yeah.
Like Bryce likes. They definitely one pump chump. Okay. Anyways, so yes, they are helpful if you get the right kind and the right company, I guess you could say. As far as like green tea, your matcha green tea is gonna be better than your standard just Lipton's green tea. Yeah. But I do think it's also a good alternative to drinking sodas and stuff. If you just if you hate the taste of water,
Yeah.
And then sleepy time stuff, yeah, that stuff does work because a lot of it is herbal based, and that's where a lot of the concoctions and formulations that we have nowadays came from. So yeah.
And ginger is something that I've been obsessed with recently too. So I actually bought some ginger root that I have that I've started cutting up and putting in my sautéing and putting in my food.
Dude, aren't you a ginger?
No.
No, okay, just making sure.
No.
I don't trust gingers.
Sorry for all of our ginger listeners, but
that was a
trust
joke.
You now.
Do you not listen to South Park? Or have you not?
Do you realize that if you rearrange the letters in the phrase ginger, anyway, people will get that joke, and then I'm sure we'll get letters. We look forward to your letters.
We look forward to your letters. Yeah.
So, thoughts on herbal teas. I like ginger tea just because it's one of those things that if you do have a little upset stomach in the morning, ginger tea is something that you can drink in the morning that will calm stuff like acid reflux, or if you feel a little nauseous. Because people have a hard time eating. Some people have a hard time eating in the morning. I'm just not one of those people, but I do like ginger tea. So it is a wonderful alternative to things like soda. Now, I have been using it as a little calorie boost because putting actual, and I know people are going to kill me, actual sugar in it. So the devil. Like 40 calories to 80 calories, just quick, easy, simple, tasty. I will say that a lot of the brands of herbal teas can get a little bit preposterous in the way that they advertise to you. Like, I know you didn't mention, you said not from supplement companies, but the herbal tea market is really popping off right now. And there are some supplement companies that are promising dramatic weight loss off of just a couple weeks off of using their... let's just call the mini tea. Let's just call it that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, and other variations of it. And that's 30 pounds. Like, I know one I was actually advertised to on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It was like 10 pounds in 7 days. It's like, no.
Dude, the FDA
no.
The FDA tells people they can't do that, and yet
yeah, but are they checking Facebook? That's the issue.
No, probably not.
That's the issue. But even with our stuff, we just say it's going to accelerate your results. We don't promise that it's going to make you look like Ronnie Coleman.
It will help you.
It will help.
Yes. Help boost your metabolism.
Help boost your muscle building potential. Potentiate new mass.
Activation.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, I think they're great. I think that they're a tasty alternative. I think that there's worse things that you could be spending your money on.
Like quicksand porn.
Yeah, you could buy DVDs of quicksand porn from me that are totally on a legitimate disc. Don't worry about it. It's not like I just burned it. Man, I'm gonna go watch some quicksand porn after this.
I think you should.
Oh no, I'm stuck. What am I gonna do? Like, help me now. God damn it. Um. So, all right, we're going to rapid fire. Have either of you done any strongman and training? And what's your favorite strongman specific equipment? Atlas stones. And no.
Farmer's walk, farmer's carry, and no.
Okay. This last one's going to be kind of, I can expound on this one a little bit, but this is our last question. So, please cover your bulking diet. Now, this one I'd be interested. See, I posted something on Facebook about my bulking diet, how I'm eating 5,000 calories a day, and I made a joke about no clean foods for me, haha. And somebody asked me, please cover it, because I'd be interested, because they think that I eat candy and all the like all day, every day. So, in my bulking diet, it consists of, let's see here, I can read off the exact macros for you, because I'm not going to be one of those guys that say, oh, I'm not going to share my diet with you because my macros are a secret and blah, 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 blah. So 648 grams of carbs, 141 grams of fat, 310 grams of protein, and 5,101 calories. Now, to fill up those calories, I include things like I make sure that I have dark chocolate every day, right? Some sort of dark chocolate. I make sure that I have vegetables every day, some sort of coniferous vegetable, like broccoli, spinach. I make sure that I have a couple different meat sources a day. I'm also starting to incorporate a lot more eggs in my diet, whole eggs, not just the whites. So I'm getting in plenty of healthy stuff. Like I'm not sitting there eating 3 or 4 bags of Sour Patch Kids. I could if I wanted to, but I don't. So milk is something I'm including. I am not lactose intolerant. Of course, our protein powder has been great help in my post-workout and pre-workout meals. Onions, have many health benefits. Fresh ginger, and then I use different carb sources for my quick and dirty calories, which is stuff like breakfast cereal, which anybody who knows me knows that I am the biggest breakfast cereal fanatic ever. In fact, today we have on deck, I had Shreds, the famous Shreds box, which is literally this 90s inspired box of cereal that's just wheat cereal, but it has this gigantic woe on the back, right? And this very 90s stylized box. If I can find a picture of it, I'll flash it up on screen now. But so there's that. I also use things like white rice because it's easily digested, because it's simple, I can cook it really quick, and it's cheap. That's something people don't realize, is I'm a pretty cheap bastard when it comes to food, because I eat so much. So white rice is cheap, therefore I eat white rice. There's no other specific reason other than it is cheap. Okay? I am not following the vertical diet. I am eating white rice because it is cheap. Same thing with pasta. I'm eating pasta because it is cheap, right? So that pretty much covers my bulking diet in a nutshell. Now, fat sources, I will say I eat like sweet cream butter, right? I eat egg yolks, of course, cheese, almonds, a little bit of oil, olive oils or whatever. So I mean, it's a pretty quote-unquote clean, dirty kind of diet. So, what are your opinions on that?
So, I got kind of bored, but did I hear you say that you like dark meat like white on rice?
What?
Did I hear you say
no,
that you like
did not.
dark meat
No.
like white on rice?
No. You did not hear that.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll answer the question how I think it, whatever the question was. No, yeah, so for me, I used to do basically 2 cans of tuna fish with mustard. It's the only way you can really manage that. Put it in some grits from my carb sources and just eat that about 4 times a day, then have some chicken breast with brown rice at night, and then the last meal before dinner was usually chicken and cheese, and then throw in some nuts with the meal before that. As far as my macros, I try to keep it between 400 grams of protein, about 400 grams of carbs, and then about 120 grams of fat, which tended to work pretty well for me. And then as I got older and wiser, instead of just doing a straight bulking every day diet, I started doing a carb cycling bulking diet where I would eat more carbs, less fat, protein up. Plus, I just hate dieting so much, and I'm vain, that I would rather be lean in bulk and take my time than just get big and have to rip up. I hate dieting. So.
See, dieting's easy for me. I just reduce food and it's done. Like it's
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, when you're eating that much, that is definitely
yeah. Well, okay, so I'm cheating a little bit, but yeah, it's the height. Trust me. But
yep.
Bulking isn't really that difficult to get in these food sources. Now, we are going to be doing I think I'm going to get Ryan Skelly on to help me out with the bodybuilding food extravaganza episode. So what we plan on doing, because it was suggested to us, it was people want us to do this. So it's like a how to cook, what foods to eat, all that stuff, specifically for bulking, building mass, all that stuff, so that we can bring some information to you guys. Because, you would never know. I mean, I have a friend who actually orders rice from a different country, pays $10 for like, I think it was like 50 or 60 pounds of rice or whatever, right? So he just, every Christmas or every holiday or whatever, he just orders a pallet of rice, and it comes from like Mexico or something. So, because, food costs in the world are specific to the region. So, rice is less expensive over there.
Interesting.
So, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Can we do a 3-way with Ryan?
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm always up for a 3-way.
You like to be in the middle, huh?
Hell yeah. Yeah. We're all aboard this train. So
come on, baby, then ride it.
God damn it. It's kind of turned into a shit show at the end here. It'd be fun. I think people like that.
Well, that's more fun than just being boring.
Well, plus they got to learn about quicksand porn.
Dude, I'm still flabbergasted by that.
When we get off of here, you need to go look. Actually, you know what? I'll probably send you some videos. Send you some videos of quicksand porn. It is the most hilarious thing. And it's not even, it's like there's no, like, okay, there's nudity in some, right? But, like, generally it's just like some ditzy looking girl walking up to this quicksand in some jungle, right? Where, obviously she can't walk around it, right?
Yeah.
She just steps in there and starts sinking rapidly, right?
Oh.
So, and I doubt it's even real quicksand. Like, let's be honest here. But it's 10 out of 10, right? Like, let's be honest. It's somebody who's paid like $100 to dig a hole. Somebody filled it up with water, and they put some food coloring or something in it, right? Called it quicksand, and some ditzy girl got hired to go fall in it, and she really bad acting, and it's fine. Everybody enjoys it. Nobody got hurt, and it's one of the finer things in life, and I think everybody should look at quicksand porn. So, please.
What kind of sand is so quick?
Yeah, it's almost exactly like that. Like, you've seen those really, really bad porn where it's like, oh no, I have a pizza here. Well, looks like there's extra sausage on it. And it's like, oh, where? It's like, right here. And then the guy points to the pizza. She's like, that's no pizza in there. It's your penis. And then he's like, well, since it's my penis, suck it. And she's like, okay. It's great.
Where do you want me to make the delivery?
Oh god, I love that world. I love that cringy ass world too. So we might actually do for you guys a fun little episode of like jewels from the internet, like nice little jewels that you can kind of go ahead and look at. So dark corners of the web. We'll call it something like that.
We should get a porn star on.
You know, there's a risk with that.
Yeah, well, good point.
Maybe too good of an episode, but
exactly.
Hey, you know what? If anybody knows anybody, and I'm talking anybody, it could be the most low budget piece of shit porn out there, right? I'm talking like webcam, I can't use that word anymore. Okay, little people and like a horse in the background, like really anything, right? If anybody knows anybody, just have them go ahead and comment in the comment section below. You know, go to our Facebook group, message us. We will have them on, and we just want to hear all about it. Okay?
Yes.
Seriously.
Seriously,
this is an open invitation to any porn actresses. Or actors.
You just said, dude, you can't help yourself. This is an open invitation.
This is an open invitation. Hell yeah.
Let me fill that invitation.
God damn it. Why does it always come back to this? Okay. We're going to let you guys go.
Human nature, man. Biology, dude.
Man, you know what? It felt good, though.
That's what she said.
Damn it. So, with that being said, guys, it is the end of the episode. It has come to the end of the episode, and we appreciate you watching. If you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you doing? Like, we have a new video every week.
Yeah.
We have new content every week over at the blog site, over at www.chaosandpain.com. You can find our blogs by clicking a little drop-down menu and go to blogs, and then it'll be right there, right? And you can see some of the awesome articles by Ed here. You can see some other articles that we have other people writing for us. I think we have some other people now, don't we?
We do. It's been kind of...
But you're better, let's face it.
Well, yeah, there's not question about that, you know. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys can find all sorts of new things. As always, in the intro section in this Hatecast, we will have... I will expound on what's on sale this week, so you guys can take advantage of that. If you have not already subscribed to our newsletter, go over to www.chaosandpain.com/subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
See you later.
Oh yes, you're dead.